All right, guys, and we're back with another reaction episode of House of Cards. Today, I will be reacting to season 3, episode 1. Last we saw, it was the season 2 finale, and it ended with Frank Underwood becoming the new president of the United States. So my suspicions did come to fruition. Garrett Walker was forced to resign, basically, because he was about to be impeached. So really curious to see what kind of drama is going to ensue as a result of Frank Underwood taking office, because it's kind of interesting because you're happy, you're kind of rooting for him, at least I am, that is Frank, to become president, but you kind of forget like all the deceitfulness and all the cold-blooded murders that he's done to get there. So obviously there's going to be a lot of baggage and drama that's eventually going to ensue. The other big story was with Doug Stamper. Really curious to see what's going to happen here. He's not dead. They did have a camera shot towards the end of the season finale where it showed his eyes basically moving, so he's not presumed to be dead. But really curious to see what happens with his and Rachel's storyline. So with that said, let's jump into season 3, episode 1, chapter 27. Here we go. Thanking them for all he's accomplished. You taught me how to be a cold-blooded killer. How to be conniving and manipulating. Thank you. Thank you, Dad.
Oh, I wouldn't be here if I had a choice, but I have to do these sort of things now. Makes me seem more human. And you have to be a little human when you're the president. He couldn't even afford to pay for his own gravestone. I paid for it, out of my own scholarship money from the Sentinel. Nobody showed up for his funeral except me. Not
Wow.
even my mother.
Hopefully they go a little more into like the backstory with him and his
But
parents.
I'll tell you this though, Pop. When they bury me, it won't be in my backyard. And when they come to pay their respects, they'll have to wait in line.
Is he seriously going? What? Wow.
Let us take a photo at the grave.
Jeez. Is he just like, his dad's dead and he's showing off? Wow. I didn't catch what he was covering there.
Excuse me. I want you to blink if you can hear me.
There you go. I wonder if there's like any permanent brain damage.
My name is Dr. Lanjwani.
I mean, he was already
President's
fucked up.
office asked me to look after you personally. You're getting the very best of care, okay? And this?
Uh-oh.
How about here?
Uh-oh. He's panicking. He doesn't feel it.
Relax. Relax. Perfectly normal at this early stage. Relax. That's good. Get some rest. The President of the United States,
He's gonna say Garrett Walker, isn't he?
Douglas? Who is the President of the United States?
Oh, shit.
Frank Underwood,
Oh.
What year are we in?
2014.
What month is it? You suffered a compound fracture.
Know what I fucking suffered?
Whoa.
I need you to hear me this time. There was damage to your left frontal cortex. Your motor skills will be a struggle. Your emotions will be unpredictable. I'd like to prescribe you something for the pain, but with your, well, any patient with a history of addictive behavior.
I know. It's fine. I can handle the pain.
Wow. I actually appreciate them spending a lot of time on Doug this episode. That's pretty cool.
Let's try this one.
A little bit of change of pace, you know?
I talked to my boss. I can't stick around for another couple
He's gonna
weeks.
make him go home.
Maybe transition back.
You should get back to your family.
Sarah's fine with it. Kids are too.
Gary, we've hardly spoken in 10 years. You've already gone above and beyond. Thanks for everything.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just a phone call and a plane ticket away.
They haven't spoken in 10 years?
Take care.
What the hell? Like, I don't know what their relationship is. Like, you'd figure they don't like each other since they haven't spoken in 10 years, but that conversation they just had
But
seems like they're okay.
About you is that in Washington,
Interesting.
D.C., which is so gridlocked, you get things done. I'm not entirely sure that I'm confident that you'll be able to eradicate unemployment the same way you've been able to eradicate your approval polls. What do you? How are you going to get it across to the American people?
I've never watched Stephen Colbert. I know he's not around anymore, but like, was he always like that to politicians on his show? Is he like that brutal? Damn. I actually feel sorry for him. But yeah, the nurse said there would be side effects.
Excuse me. Let's keep it quiet. Let's keep it cordial. Thanks for all your work. I'll get my things. I haven't sent out to you in the lobby.
Wow, he's taking it okay. Your services are no longer needed. I'd be flipping a shit. Like, are you kidding me? We're seeing a lot of Doug this episode. A lot of Doug. Oh, God. I mean, you just knew something like that was going to happen, right? Oh, shit. You just pop a bone? Oh, that's what we saw in the beginning of the episode. Was the duct tape. I was wondering what that was. Jesus. The lengths that he's going just to get back to work. That's what was under his suit jacket.
What happened, I take responsibility for that. No, for putting you in that position.
Stop. It's not necessary.
I endangered you,
Yeah, but
just as
all
everything
I
was
care
coming-
about is that you are alive and getting better. Let the rest of it go.
You know how devoted I am.
You don't have to say it. You proved it time and time again. Now, come on, come on.
He's actually coddling him. I'm surprised. Is he gonna mention Rachel?
I should have taken care of her when I had the chance.
Oh. There we go.
I haven't found her yet. But when I do, I'll make sure that no one else does. You can count on that, sir.
That's what he wants to hear.
How is it?
Probably better if we don't talk about it.
Right, of course. I would never forgive myself if I put too much on your plate too soon.
He doesn't want him in the office.
You're right.
But he also doesn't want to cut him loose and piss him off to the fact that he, like, blackmails him with Rachel, maybe? You know? Like, he has to keep Doug close.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
I want you to announce the nomination this week. I don't want to wait. The timing will never be good. And I don't want to waste time when I can be getting real experience under my belt. So set a date, hold a press conference, and let's do it.
She just wakes him in the middle of the night and has no shame about it. Like,
I will not be a placeholder president, Claire. I will win. And I will leave a legacy.
You mean we will?
Excuse me, sir. The Secretary of Defense is on the line. He says it's urgent.
Frank is never going to entertain an idea that he's going to lose. That is whiskey, right? Did I read that bottle correctly? I'm lost. Doug Stamper, you have confused the hell out of me. Something kinky is about to happen.
It's bourbon. That's all. It's just bourbon. Take it.
I really don't want to.
Nothing's going through the skin. Just want you to squirt it.
squirt the bourbon into his mouth?
Is that our target?
That's sadistic.
Mr. President.
I gotta think about that one.
I'm clearing the First Lady for this
Wow.
operation.
Yes, sir. Forgive me, sir.
I wish there was like 20-second breaks in between scenes so you can just kind of like
We can't tell which
think
one.
about what
If
the
they go in
fuck
3
just
different
happened.
directions, we wouldn't know where.
All right, guys, so that was season 3, episode 1. Pretty solid episode. It was a Doug Stamper centric episode, and I've mentioned this before that he's kind of the storyline that I'm most interested in at the moment, outside of Frank and Claire, obviously. But they focused mainly on his road to recovery in this episode, and that was interesting to see. And it's also interesting that he relapsed a bit in this episode, right? So he seemed to be doing good in the beginning, where the nurse was saying, hey, you know, I can't prescribe you with painkillers because of your history. And he's basically saying, okay, no problem, no problem. His use of alcohol was basically non-existent. And then he just falls back into it. He relapses, right? He has a hooker come over, and then he bought a bottle of bourbon. And this is what caught me the most off guard in the episode, was him putting the bourbon in the syringe and then instructing the hooker to inject it into his mouth. And I was just like thinking for it a couple minutes after I did the reaction, and is that just like a mind game? Like he's basically, as a alcoholic, he's mentally saying to himself that, hey, I'm not relapsing, like I'm not taking the alcohol, I'm having someone else do it for me. And I guess it's kind of like the symbolism, the fact that it's like in the syringe is like he's kind of taking it like almost as medication. I don't, it's really, it kind of threw me for a loop. I don't know, but there's some sort of mind game going on there by him having the prostitute inject the bourbon into his mouth. Very, very interesting stuff. And then Frank and Doug, they also had a little bit of a confrontation there. And Frank was very warm and very, you know, sympathetic to Doug, basically saying, hey, focus on yourself. We don't need you back here just yet, but know that when you do come back, you have a position here. And I feel like Frank knows deep down that Doug is baggage at this point. Like he doesn't need him, but I think he's telling him to stay home indirectly means that he wants him to take care of Rachel. Like, hey, you stay home, worry about yourself, but more importantly, deal with Rachel. Now, he didn't say that last part, but I feel like that he's what he's trying to do is like he doesn't want to bring him in and have him focus on anything within the White House. He wants him to take care of Rachel, and that's kind of what I'm thinking as to why Frank told him not to come back and to stay home. So yeah, it was a good episode. Claire also wanting to be ambassador to the UN. Interesting to see that there seems to be a little bit of like a power struggle there, where Frank's not accepting the fact that Claire pretty reasonably is saying, you know, in the event that you don't get reelected in 2016, you know, it'd be nice if I had this, you know, as kind of like a backup. And she's basically saying like, hey, if you don't get reelected, where does that leave us? And Frank is not willing to accept that. You know, he has that very demonstrative personality, whereas I'm not losing, you know, that's not an option. And it seems like he kind of warmed up to her at the end. But I feel like in future episodes or seasons even, there's going to be some power struggles between them. So clearly there's some other drama going on. It looks like the ratings aren't good for the president, and he's having troubles getting bills passed and whatnot. So we'll see what happens in future episodes. So I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and recap of season 3 episode 1. If you did like it, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. If I missed anything, if I'm wrong about anything, definitely let me know. And let me know specifically what your thoughts, what you think that meant with Doug Stamper in the syringe and having him having the prostitute inject it into his mouth. Like, I'm really curious what you guys think about that. So until then, I'll see you next time.